Today we start with a variable argument. A variable argument or variable argument is a feature provided by the Java Standard Edition 5.0. It helps to pass the variable number of argument of the same type as a parameter to a method. So when you define a method, you are defining a parameter. Suppose you are defining a two parameter int a and b. Then you are giving a restriction to a method that you only access the two value. But where you don't know how many value the user is passing at runtime, at that time we are using a variable argument. Suppose you are going to a shopping mall and the user maybe purchase one item, maybe purchase two item, maybe purchase 10 item. You don't know about that. So if you define a two parameter in a function, then you are giving a restriction to the customer that you have to only purchase one item. And suppose in a shop there is 100 items are present and you want to list out it. If you define 100 variable, okay, then it is suppose user is or the customer is taking only one value, then 99 field you have to place as a default value. If it is an integer, then all the value becomes as 0. Okay, means you getting a bill of 100 item, but you are what? You are purchase only one item. Okay, then for the one item you are getting a amount, and for other item it will put as 0. The variable argument is saying that at runtime it will what? Take the value, as much as value you can pass as runtime to a function. If it is 1, then it is allocated a 1 value. If you pass 500, many value, a variable argument is a feature which is takes the number of argument to a function at runtime. It helps to pass the variable number of argument of the same type. So remember that when you pass the value to a function, it is of having a same type. It can be used when you have number of overloaded method which share the same functionality. So when you have number of overloaded method which share the common functionality, at that cases we are using variable argument. So for defining a variable argument, we go for the example. Now check, here we define a class name is var. We are defining a function return type is int, then sum array. Now for defining the variable argument, we'll define an integer variable. 3 dot symbol is used for taking the for defining the variable argument, and your variable name is int array. Okay, now in main method we're creating a object of class var va equals to new var. We're creating a object of class, then we're defining a variable int sum, then int sum array, then we're passing int, then int arrays. So here we're creating a object of class var va, then int sum, then sum equals to, so we're defining a variable, the sum equals to object dot sum array function. Means here we're calling the function. When we are calling the function, we're passing the 7 value. So we're passing the 7 value. That 7 value is stored into the int array. Okay, when you pass the 7 value into the int array, then it becomes, when you pass the 7 value, it becomes an array. Now for getting the element from the array, you require a enhanced for loop. So here we define a enhanced for loop, int I colon int array. So whatever the element that you are passing in int array, It's stored in the I object. Now you add all the value, sum plus equals to I, so it is adding the number. So after adding the number, it is returning you the value, return sum. Okay, as because we are using a return type word, the return type is int. Okay, so then apart from void, if you pass any kind of return type, it will return a value. So as you are defining a return type int, so it is return a value of sum. It is adding all the number. So whatever the 7 value you are passing, it is going to the array. It is storing the variable argument. So as we are storing a 7 value, it becomes an array. Then you retrieve all the element by using a enhanced for loop. Then you add all the number. Then it is return you the value. When it is stored in the sum. Okay. Then sum of number is 280. Okay. That is the example of variable argument. Next, constructor are not inherited. So your method is inherited, but constructor is not inherited. But you can call the constructor into another class. A subclass inherit all the method and variable from the superclass. But a subclass doesn't inherit the constructor from the superclass. So two way to include constructor are: one is you have to use a default constructor. Another is write one or more explicit constructor. So in the two way you can include the constructor. Now to invoke a parent class constructor means constructor is not inherited. You can only call the constructor into the child class. For calling the constructor into the child class, in child class constructor first line write the super method. Okay, in child class constructor first line, when you write super method, then parent class constructor is called into the child class. You can call the specific parent constructor by the argument that you use in the call super method. If the parent class define the excuse me, if the parent class define constructor but doesn't having no argument, then compiler error message is issued. Suppose in a parent class constructor, it is contain a parameter, and when you call the parent class constructor into the child class by using a super method, if you not pass the parameter value, then it shows an error. If your parent class constructor contain a parameter in the child class, when you call super method, in the super method you pass the parameter value. So let's go for example. let's see this example. We're defining a class parent, then int a, then we're defining a parent class constructor. Okay, then next we define a child class. Child extends from parent, then child class constructor. So if you want to call the parent class constructor into the child class, let's see. Here your child class is present, child class constructor is present, class name and constructor name is same. So in the child class constructor, here we are using a super method. Okay, then it is printing you the child class constructor. So in a main method, when you are creating a object of child class, then child class constructor is called. When the child class constructor is called, by using of super method, it called the parent class constructor. So it is showing you first default constructor parent, then it is showing you child class constructor. So let's execute this program. So it is saying you default constructor parent, then child class constructor. Now what happened? If your parent class constructor contain a parameter, let make it as a comment line. Then I remove it part. Int a, we are defining a member variable, then parent class constructor, parent int a, this dot a equals to a. Okay, let's see that we are defining a member variable, then parent class constructor, then whatever the value we are passing at runtime, it is initialized here. Then we are initializing the member variable, then it is showing you parameterized constructor value is here. Then we are defining a child class. So child class constructor present here. In the child class constructor, we are using a super method. So super method means we are calling a parent class constructor. When you call the parent class constructor, as your parent class constructor contain a parameter int a, then your 5 value is initialized in the a. So when your 5 value is initialized in the a, this dot a equals to a. So 5 is initialized here a. Now a value is initialized in the member variable. Then it is showing you the parameterized constructor value is 5. So if your constructor contain a parameter, then when you call the super method, you pass a value. If your constructor doesn't contain any kind of parameter, then only you write a super method. Then your normal parent class constructor is called. Now let's run this file again. Okay, the parameterized constructor 5. This is a child class constructor. Object class is the base, or it is the root of all the classes in Java. A class declaration with no extends clause implies that it is extended from object class. The object is the root of all the classes in Java. If you define a class which is not extend from any class, so invisibly or by default, it is extends from the object class. The public class employee extends from object class. So in the object class, it contains a two method. One is equals method, another is toString method. The two methods it contains. Here the object class contain a equal operator, another is equals method. The work of equal operator determine if the two references are identical to each other. Equals method determine if the objects are equal but not necessarily identical. Suppose one person is present at place X, another person is present at place Y, and one person is asking the information about the place Z. Okay, X person is present at Z position, Y person is present in other location. So if you ask the X person where is the Z, the person is saying that in that particular location Z is present. If you pass another person Y, where is the Z is present, so they are also locating you the same location Z. Suppose one person is present at Odisha, Puri location, another person is present at Maharashtra, and you are asking about what is the Jagannath temple. The Puri person is saying that here the Jagannath temple is present. Maharashtra person is also saying that in the Puri Jagannath temple is present. But the distance from Puri city to Jagannath temple and Maharashtra to Jagannath temple is different. In equal operator, if you check the reference, it's showing you false, as because their distance are unequal. But if you are using a equals method, in both of the cases, it is showing you true. Okay, it means that you can store your value in a variable or in a reference. When you store a value in a variable and check using equal operator, it is showing you true. But when you store the value in the form of a reference, whether you are storing a same value, but it is showing you false, because the string is taking a different memory. It is not happen to the integer value. The string is always stored in the form of a reference, because every character stored in a array. Combination of letter is called as a string. So when the letters are present, it's stored in an array, string array. So the memory they have allocated, which is different. So when you check that same thing, when you are using a equal operator, it is showing you false. When you store the string value through a reference, but in the equals method, if you store the value in a variable directly, it will show you true. When you store the variable in the form of a reference, it is showing you true. But in equal operator, when you store the value through a reference, it's showing you false. But when you store the value in a variable, it is showing you true. Okay, I'm clearing all your doubts by showing the program, which is clarifying you what I trying to say. See that here, we're passing a value through a reference. String A equals to new string cutter. String B equals to new string as a cutter. So we store the two value. If A dot equals to B, then it is showing you equals, or else it is showing you not equals. We store the value in the form of a reference. String A equals to new string cutter, string B equals to new string cutter. If A dot equals to B, this showing you equals, both are storing same value. But now we'll show the value through the reference. If A is equals to B, okay, it is showing you not equals. So we are storing the value in the form of a reference, and if I check if A is equals to B, it is printing you false. It is showing you not equal. Now, when you store the value in a variable, so here reference is over. Now we store the value in a variable. So in equal operator, it's showing you equals. We store the value in a variable. Now check what about the equals method. Then it is showing you equals method. Okay. That is all about your equals method and equals operator. Then toString method. ToString method has the following characteristics. When you store the value in an object, the object is not having any kind of format. So if you want to print a object into a readable format, toString method is used. This method convert a object to a string. Using this method during the string concatenation, when you want to join the string and want to display it, then we are using this string concatenation. Override this method to provide information about a user-defined object into a readable format. If you want to show the object into a readable format, we are using toString method. Use the wrapper class toString method, toString static method to convert the primitive type to a string. Okay, now wrapper class is present, which is used to convert any primitive data element in the form of a object. So in the wrapper class also, to convert any predefined method to a string, we're using this toString method. Then what is wrapper class? The Java programming language provide a wrapper class to manipulate the primitive data element as object. For converting primitive data element or for manipulating the primitive data element in the form of an object, we are using a wrapper class. If you notice here we define int pint equal to 420. Now we want to convert this pint into a object. The integer wint new integer. So this object is now stored in a wint object. Now again, when you convert, so this process of converting predefined data element into the form of an object is called as the boxing. Now again, converting this object into the primitive data element is called as the unboxing. Converting primitive data element in the or manipulating primitive data element in the form of an object is called as the boxing. Converting object into the primitive data element is called as the unboxing. See there, int its wrapper class is integer. We manipulate the primitive data element in the form of an object. As a Java is an object orientation language, by using of a wrapper class, you can store the primitive data element into the or manipulate the primitive data element into the form of an object. When you store the value into the form of an object, you can share your value throughout the application. If you store the value in a variable, so it is limited within the scope, within the class or within the same package. But when you manipulate through the object, anywhere you can access. Like if you take an example, when you are logging a Facebook, it is asking you login with Facebook, login with Gmail account. When you login with Instagram, login with Instagram, login with Facebook, or login with Gmail. Means your Gmail credential it is used in the Facebook and Instagram. That means what? One application information is shared to the other application if it is an object orientation. Auto-boxing feature it enable you to assign a value and retrieve the primitive type without need for a wrapper class. Means here we are using a new keyword. Here we directly convert the primitive data element or directly manipulating the primitive data element into the form of an object. Then int p2 equals to w8. In Java Standard Edition 5.0, compiler will create the wrapper class object automatically when you assign the primitive to a variable of the wrapper class type. Now we check what are the wrapper classes are available. Here for Boolean is a primitive data type and its wrapper class is Boolean. For char, character is a wrapper type. Byte is a wrapper type. Short is a short. Int for integer. Long is a long. Float is a wrapper class. Double is a wrapper class. Okay. Int integer. Byte is a wrapper class. Boolean is a wrapper class. We are defining int a equals to 20. Integer dot value of a. We are passing a integer value a equals to 20. Now converting this primitive data element into the form of a object. So here you are manipulating in the form of a object. Integer is a class, wrapper class. I is the object. The integer dot value of a. So now it is stored in the I. Then auto-boxing without use of any method or new keyword, where directly store the value of a into j. It is a one example. It is a one example. Then next example is what? Wrapper class example 2. Integer a new integer. So we are passing a value 3. So we are store the value into the form of a object. Now we convert this object into the form of data element a.i using int value, we store the value in I. Then directly also use J. This was unboxing. The example of your wrapper class.